Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Okay, here is Scare Talk. We're back. I'm Danny, and this is Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
And we are going to talk about Halloween H20.
Halloween water.
What year? Halloween water. Wow. This one is 98, I think?
Yeah, it came out in 1998.
1998. Awesome. Who is in this one, Joel?
This one stars Jamie Lee Curtis.
Josh Hartnett.
Well, yeah, but I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
Jamie Lee Curtis. She was in Prom Night,
Oh.
My Girl, and Forever Young.
She's in My Girl?
Yeah,
And Forever
she's
Young.
the mom in My Girl. Yeah,
What?
yeah.
You know, I was, since we've been talking about her so much, I was trying to think, what else has she even been in? Like, I don't know a bunch of movies that she's been in.
Yeah.
I know True Lies.
Mm-hmm.
I know Freaky Friday.
Classic.
And then Halloween. I can't think of too many more, like,
Mm-hmm.
that come to my mind.
Yeah.
So, My Girl and Forever Young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two more for you.
All
Prom
right.
Night, also the OG Prom Night.
Yeah, that's another horror movie.
And The Fog. Yeah, she's been in a lot of like horror movies. She's definitely the screen
She was
queen.
in The Fog?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And Escape from Alcatraz, but that's not technically...
She's in that too?
Yeah. She's in a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Gotta look her up from time to time. Also, we've got Josh Hartnett, which this was his first movie he ever did. He did The Faculty right after.
Yes.
Lucky Number 11.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's a really good movie. And 30 Days of Nights.
Oh.
Had to go back to horror there. For the third person, there were a few that I could have named because there were several in this movie.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people in this movie, but I'm gonna go with Josh Hartnett's girlfriend in it, who was Michelle Williams,
Okay.
and she was in Shutter Island, the entire series of Dawson's Creek,
Oh, okay.
and The Greatest Showman.
Oh.
Going more recently.
All right.
Yeah.
But you really can't forget LL Cool J.
Yes.
Come on.
No, LL Cool J was definitely in this movie, as was Joseph Gordon-Levitt for
Yeah.
a scene.
Oh, yeah, the beginning.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did have a lot of good people in this movie, for sure.
Very nice.
The writer, which one thing that I can always count on Halloween for is getting these like no-name writers for their movies.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
This is no exception. This one has two writers. One did the story and the screenplay, and one of them just did the screenplay.
Okay.
Robert Zappia, who did the story and the screenplay.
Okay.
I was digging deep for this one because there's nothing.
Get your shovel out.
Yeah, he did one episode of Home Improvement. He wrote one
of the
episode.
Halloween ones?
I
Those
don't know.
are awesome.
Yeah, those are good.
Halloween episodes.
I wouldn't. I'm not. I didn't look up which episodes it was.
Okay.
A Hallmark movie called Christmas is Here Again. And the Tom and Jerry Show, 2016-2017, like 26 episodes of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
However, this writer actually is pretty known. His name is Matt Greenberg, and he did the screenplay. He wrote Reign of Fire, 1408, and Pet Sematary, the reboot.
Oh.
So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was directed by Steve Miner, who did Friday the 13th, Part 2 and 3,
Yep.
Warlock, and Lake Placid.
Okay. All right.
So, minus this Robert Zappia guy.
Yeah.
It's got some pretty good people attached to it, too. So.
Yeah. All right. So this one is Laurie Strode. Now, the dean of a Northern California private school with an assumed name must battle the shape one last time as the life of her own son hangs in the balance.
Oh, man.
So Laurie has a son, which right away tells you, and she's alive.
Yeah.
Which right away tells you that this is a sequel to Halloween 2.
Yes.
Not 3 or 4.
Nope. This is
Or 5 or 6.
This is definitely the first in the series to have a separate timeline from the rest of them.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how they advertise that in the previews and stuff. We're getting a new Halloween movie with Jamie Lee Curtis coming back. Isn't that going to confuse people?
Yeah, she was dead.
Yeah.
And she has a son.
Yeah.
No.
She had a daughter in the original timeline, and she was dead. So that's for those diehard Halloween fans that actually watch and pay attention to 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. Right.
For everyone else, for the casual fans, oh yeah, Laurie Strode's coming back. Cool.
Yeah. 20 years later.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Even though Halloween 6 came out 2 years before this movie.
Yeah, it did. So I guess right there in the title, it kind of proves that it's separate from itself, which I have mixed feelings on, especially for that because in the beginning I'm really paying attention to this movie in the beginning part because I want to see where it shows in timeline. This is actually I know it's gonna be after 2. Yeah. But there's a newspaper article talking about lone survivor of Halloween massacre dies in car accident, and that was a cover. That was her cover in this movie, but that was also how she died in 4.
Yeah. Oh.
So.
I didn't notice that.
It's a parallel, but at the same time, it's a new timeline. So it's she actually died in the original timeline that way. Yeah. But then that's how she used her cover up in this movie.
This one.
So it's okay.
What? That's confusing.
So yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's why I was confused when I saw that. I was okay, so is this following 2? But then they did mention that I think Josh Hartnett talks to her and says that you saw him burn, you saw him explode, you saw him blow up. Yeah. So it's okay, well that follows 2 then. Yeah. So, but it was just so confusing how they just threw that newspaper clipping in there.
Yeah. And then that would, if this was following, let's say 6, then that would mean that she just gave up her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Nothing
and
in that
left her daughter in Haddonfield, and that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, I know. If this isn't a separate timeline, it is pretty messed up.
Wow. I always knew I didn't like Laurie.
Yeah. So I do have fun fact here about this particular movie.
Yes, let's hear it.
So her mom in real life, Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, is an actual actress as well. Her name is Janet Leigh, and she was the first victim in Psycho. The big scene. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of a cool little. She's the original Scream Queen, I guess.
Right. Yeah, who's the original? Who's really the original?
Yeah. Janet Leigh is the original. Yeah. And she was actually in this movie for a scene.
What scene?
It's towards the beginning. She's still she's at the school, and she's this older lady. Her name is Norma, I think is what her name is. And she gives Laurie kind of a jump scare at one point.
Yes. I did hear about this fact, now that you're saying it. Yeah, she does kind of scare her for a second, yeah.
Yeah, she does.
I heard about that.
And what's cool, I knew about Janet Leigh from Psycho, but I didn't know she was actually a big name actress. But in 2006, the city of Stockton, California, renamed and dedicated a downtown cinema and plaza in her honor.
Oh.
Janet Leigh Plaza is in the central core of the redeveloped downtown, 2 blocks away from the Bob Hope Theater.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Kind of a cool little fun fact there.
Yeah, I like that.
They were also in, I think, The Fog together as well. So,
wow.
yeah.
That's deep-rooted
horror
history right there.
It is.
Nice.
So, yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool little, not only is her mom, like, the OG, like, classic Psycho victim that everyone knows that movie for.
Yep.
But they were also in this movie and other horror movies as well. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was, like we said, 1998.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when this came out. When it was released in theaters, I was 11. But I think I saw it I probably saw it the same year. I was probably 11. I'm assuming it came out in October to theaters.
I would assume so.
But I remember watching it on either DVD DVD or VHS, like the day before Christmas Eve. That's when I remember watching it.
Couldn't be of that year. I'm assuming years later.
I don't know. I feel like it was that year. I mean, if it came out in early October, it's a couple months later.
Yeah, but movies were were in theaters a lot longer back then.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't. They wanted to put it out right before Christmas for people to get it for Christmas.
I mean, it's possible.
I distinctly remember, and it might have been the next year. Yeah. I don't know, but I do remember watching it the day before Christmas Eve.
It was probably VHS that you watched that.
Yeah,
yeah,
and thinking, wow. This is not a Christmas movie.
No.
It was
It's Halloween.
It was my first time seeing Michael Myers.
Oh, okay.
In a movie. For sure.
It was probably my first time too. I was living, I think it was this movie. I was living in LA at the time. And lived there for a couple years during the time that all like the 90s horror movies came out.
Yeah.
And my mom refuses. She never watches horror movies, and so my step family went to go see this movie. Went to go see Halloween, and me and my mom went to go see Patch Adams. So that was fun.
Awesome.
Would much rather watch this movie. I liked Patch Adams.
Patch Adams is good.
Yeah, it is
very different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
But, I have that memory from this, but I probably saw it a couple years later.
Okay.
And I think this was an introduction to Michael for me, too.
Yeah. All right.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I would imagine if I saw anything else, it would have been the original. Mm-hmm. But I didn't see the original until I was at least 13. Mm-hmm. I remember on my 13th birthday renting Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street,
oh man,
and something else, and putting both Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street on and just laughing and turning them off because they were just so corny.
Oh man,
to me at the time.
Yeah,
being
a tough 13-year-old.
Yeah, being a dumbass. And so I didn't even watch Halloween then. Like I didn't even finish it. So
I can understand Nightmare on Elm Street. It's kind of a silly, just but
the
Halloween
scene,
Halloween
that was
is
serious.
that was a serious movie.
Yeah. And maybe I don't know what I was thinking. But with Nightmare on Elm Street, the scene where his arms get super long and he's like, that's when we turned it off. Okay. I remember laughing at that.
It's still fairly early in the movie.
Yeah,
because he doesn't have his powers yet.
I remember watching that and thinking, this is dumb. So yeah, okay. So there's the history, I guess.
Yeah.
Or nostalgia for this movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it many times. I saw it all through my teens. probably 3 or 4 times as a teenager, and probably 3 or 4 or 5 other times up until now. I've seen it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. Definitely of all of the Halloween movies, I've seen this one probably the most.
Yeah.
Of all of them. So it was kind of nice to doing these podcasts and going back and watching like all of the movies.
Yeah.
Leading up to this one, because for a couple of them I've only seen maybe once.
Yeah.
So it was nice to go back and rewatch those movies. But but this one I know pretty well.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. What is your positives?
Positives for this one. So leading up to Halloween H20, I was giving the acting in it just subpar,
Neutrals.
if anything, neutral. But I would consider this one to be a positive.
Okay.
For this movie, there is
So
a
you're
lot
going back on your word.
that I would never.
Yeah.
That I would never. This and maybe one other one is what I would take back on that.
Right.
But
So
leading up to
just
this
a liar.
one, I am a liar. I'm sorry.
You can never be trusted.
But leading up to this, they're all neutral. But I actually liked this cast. It reminded me of, they had the same kind of feels as Scream 4 did, where they had the young actors that were popular in their day come into those movies.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that a lot because a lot of them were actually pretty popular in that time that this movie came out.
Yeah.
So the acting was good. I enjoyed the acting. The kills were pretty good. He did get his butcher knife back.
Mm-hmm. He did.
He didn't have that one for a while for a lot of the kills for the other movies, but he did get it back for this one. Is there one scene where he turns one of the kids into a jack-o'-lantern or something like that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I like Jamie Lee Curtis finally in these movies.
Yeah.
Her character was an actual true final girl in this movie.
Yeah.
Did not care for her character in 1 and 2, but this one definitely, she's older, she's a lot more wise, she's a lot stronger than she was back then, and that final showdown with her and Michael was pretty intense. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I liked, speaking of that, I did this is a spoiler episode, right? This movie's been out for 20 years.
Yeah. Why not?
So how they handle the end of the movie, which we'll talk about that in another episode, what they did with that. But how they handled it in this particular movie was really well done. It was definitely a final. She ends up cutting his head off.
Yeah.
At the end of the movie. You can blow up Michael Myers, you can shoot him 27 times, but I feel like headless Michael Myers, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah. But there
or is there?
So you
but
like
for
the
this
end?
movie, I did like this movie, and I will say that because I did kind of say the opposite for Halloween 2 because they made so many more after that. It was took it away from it. They didn't make another Halloween movie. I think Resurrection came out in 2002, so it's been 4 years. And I know I had seen this movie before then.
Yeah.
So for me, this was a final act.
Right.
This wasn't some
you didn't
setup
know,
to another movie.
Yeah, you didn't know then that this was going to have a sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So when that ending happened, it was final. You can't come back from that.
Yeah.
So I like that ending to it.
You know what I
Jamie Lee
can't
Curtis
believe?
was just done.
You said, and I just looked it up, Halloween Resurrection was 2002.
2002.
So it took them 4 years to make that movie.
Yeah.
What in the world? Okay.
I know. It took them 2 years to go from to 6 to this one.
Yeah.
It took 4 to go from this one to whatever we got after that.
All right.
Yeah. We'll have another episode on that one. But yeah, so I enjoyed the acting. The kill scenes were good, and I did like the music for this one.
Not me.
Not you? Mm-hmm. Okay. I like the theme. The theme does change every single time.
No.
And it's either hit or miss. And for me, for this one, it did hit.
Okay.
It hit more than it had for a couple of the other ones that we'd seen in the past. So it kind of, for me, brought it back a little bit. So yeah, I would, yeah. For the most part, those were my my positives there.
Okay. So for me, again, like you said, I like Jamie Lee Curtis. This is the best portrayal of Laurie so far.
Yeah.
I will say maybe some of the other movies that we haven't done yet, you might say she's done better. Mm-hmm. Or Laurie, whoever plays Laurie, might do better. And so I like that. Something that I remember this movie for is that bathroom scene, the rest stop bathroom.
Oh yeah,
with the mom and her daughter.
Yeah.
There's not even a kill, but it's just creepy. They kind of use that in Halloween 2018. They kind of give that same vibe in a different scene.
Yeah.
So I do remember that scene a lot, and I remember his car. The car
his
that
old
he
rusty, busted up truck. Yeah,
I love it. It stands out so much. Like in the first film, the car he has is like the Loomis's like Smith's Grove like car or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's distinct. Like you can see, that's Michael.
Yeah,
and you see it driving around. Same with this one. You see that truck. It's very.
It reminded me of Jeepers Creepers.
Yes, I was just gonna say that.
It's like the creeper.
Yeah, the creeper's
driving
car. So I like that they used that car. They used it in a couple of different scenes where it's like kind of in the background. And so you're like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
So they do that. I do like the ending, like you said, with the final showdown. That's about it.
That's about it? Yeah. It's similar to except you didn't like the acting as much.
Well,
as far as,
it was
not
okay.
enough to give it a positive.
Yeah, it was okay. It was. I mean, I would say it was better than most of the other ones. And I did like
Probably
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Her acting, for sure. I like that.
Yeah.
Negatives.
All right. Negatives.
I've got a good amount.
Oh, wow, okay. Well, I know that the theme and music is one of them. I'm trying to think here exactly, because as much as I liked most of the acting in the movie, there are a couple of characters that were not very good.
Okay.
But for the most part,
oh, Cool J.
No, he was the comedy relief of the movie.
Yeah, he did okay.
I liked. Yeah, he was cool. I liked the interaction between him and his wife or girlfriend on the phone. He's like talking about the book he's writing. That's funny. But a couple of the friends, like one in particular.
The like skinny white guy with his like spiky hair or whatever.
Yeah. I didn't care for him very much. Yeah. But everyone else I think did a really good job. But so the acting for him was not great.
You know the other girl with the brown hair? That the other kid actress? Yeah. You know what she's from? What TV show?
I have seen her on Prison Break.
Oh. I didn't know she was in that.
Yeah.
But what I know
was
her from...
a bad guy in that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. I know her from Nash Bridges.
Oh, man.
She was Nash's daughter.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think she's in She's All That as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think she's like the one who's supposed to win the prom queen. You know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't... I only remembered her from Prison Break, and she was only in like maybe 2 seasons of that.
Okay.
But yeah, she was pretty ruthless in that
Wow.
show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
She did a good job. I liked her acting in this movie. She didn't really do a whole. I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of these characters don't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, they don't. That's not what they're there for.
That's not. Yeah, they're there to be kills.
Yeah.
Basically,
Her kill was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
With her leg getting smashed by the elevator thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The negatives for me, he uses the butcher knife a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
And which after a while can get kind of boring. I liked the jack-o'-lantern scene where he turns her into a jack-o'-lantern, and then the boyfriend when he stabs him in the back and raises him up and he's shaking and stuff. That was intense. I haven't seen that kill before.
Yeah.
The whole body's shaking.
Yeah. I wonder if that would happen.
If you hit a nerve,
yeah.
There's a lot of nerves back there. If you hit one, then you probably would
seizure.
Yeah.
While you're getting stabbed.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah. What? So the kills. I mean, one of the guys gets his throat slit. A lot of people get their throat slit in this movie. I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt got a rollerblade in his face, which was kind of cool in the beginning.
Not a rollerblade.
I thought it was a blade. I thought no, it was.
It was a hockey skate.
Oh, hockey. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Rollerblades don't have metal pieces that
he got roller skates
actual
in his face.
Hockey. Yeah. That's what it was. That was kind of cool, but some of the other kills were not that great. Because a butcher knife has been played out.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. It was just a fun movie. It's not classic Halloween 1, Halloween 2 even. It was just a fun movie that was made. Just like how you liked Halloween 5.
Yeah.
For it just being fun and this one was fun but not in as much of a cheesy way.
Yeah. No, this one's not really cheesy at all.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I don't really have too many negatives besides those. Okay. Honestly, you have a whole list of them apparently. So
yeah, and I didn't even write these down. They're
just in your head.
In my head. Okay, so number 1 negative does not feel like a Halloween movie to me. Now, when I first saw it, and the many times I saw it after, before watching the other Halloween films, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's slasher. It's nothing super special, but it's it's entertaining. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as I watched all the other Halloween films over the last few years, now I don't like it as much because it just doesn't feel like it fits. It doesn't take place in Haddonfield.
Yeah,
that's number 1. No, you can't do that.
No, yeah,
it always takes place in Haddonfield. This takes place in Northern California.
Yeah,
no. I don't care. No. They did away with the whole suburban neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
It's at a private school. No.
It's a gated community.
Yeah, I don't like that. Michael does 0 stalking.
Yeah, he doesn't stalk in this one.
You barely even see him.
Well, no,
really.
he does at some points. Michelle Williams is looking out the window in class and sees him in the background.
Yeah, okay.
He stalks a little bit, but yeah, it's definitely not on par with other movies that he's been the stalker in.
Yeah,
for sure.
He I feel like you don't see him much until the last act, because, well, as far as the daytime scenes, because every time you see him, it's her imagination.
Yeah,
it's not him. So I that's another reason why it didn't really feel like a Halloween movie. The score didn't feel like a Halloween score to me. The actual theme itself, I could kind of pick up on it here and there, but it was with violins or something. It just
they were
no. No,
they're trying something different.
I don't like it.
Okay.
See, for me with Halloween, change is not good. Change is bad. Stick with the same formula. So yeah, all of that just took away from the feel of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
They could literally have any other person be the killer in this movie, and it would just be fine.
Michael didn't really do a whole lot in this one.
Yeah.
His
mask
really
sucks.
Stand out.
Too. His mask is horrible.
Yeah.
They have like 3 different masks in this movie. One of them is CGI. What in the world?
Couldn't even put an actual mask on. Had to CGI it. And back then, CGI was not not the greatest.
Yeah. So there's that. Beef I have with the mask is at one point when like Laurie and him come like face to face, you know, and that one scene, which is pretty iconic. That's cool. Mm-hmm. But you can see his like eyelids in that, like you can see his eyes and everything. No, Michael doesn't have eyes. He has no face. There's not a person underneath that mask in my world. So you see his eyes. No, can't see his eyes. So I didn't like that. I also didn't like, and maybe this was explained and I just missed it. How did he get out? How did he... You know, because he was supposedly blown up. So where has he been? What's he doing?
I think he's been in the penitentiary this whole time. Because
But she thinks he's dead.
Yeah. She thinks he's dead.
Yeah.
He's been back in Haddonfield this entire time. I don't know why he's decided to come to Northern California.
Well, so he goes to Loomis's like nurse's house to find where she lives, where Laurie lives.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, this nurse just keeps medical records in her home.
I know.
That is a HIPAA violation.
We didn't have HIPAA back then.
So no. And there's just no explanation as to what he's been doing. If he's been locked up, then how he got out. Mm-hmm. If he was supposedly dead, like, where had he been for 20 years?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like there needs to be some sort of something leading up to him getting to this nurse's house. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, I don't remember.
He's just like there.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, he pretty much is. I mean, that's literally how the movie starts. Like, he's already in the neighborhood stalking these people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't... If they did mention it, they barely mentioned it at all. Because I just watched this movie last night, and I don't remember if they mentioned anything like that. About, like, where he's been or, you know, how he broke out, if he was in a penitentiary. I'm not entirely sure on that. So, yeah, I guess that would be considered a negative because they didn't really... There's a pretty big plot hole there that could easily be filled with some sort of an explanation.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah, there has to be. It's been 20 years, so you have to, like, that's just obvious.
Yeah.
You have to give something. It's not like an afterthought. Like, everybody wants to know.
Yeah.
Like, how did he just appear out of nowhere? Mm-hmm. You know? And then apparently, he found where she lived, drove from Illinois to Northern California.
It's a long drive.
Like, what, in a day? Because it was like the day before Halloween.
Yeah.
So he gets there.
Hey, he's a fast driver.
He is on a mission.
Old rickety truck that he's driving.
Well, first he was driving some like old muscle car.
I want to see like just Michael Myers just driving around, stopping to fill up his tank.
Does he keep the mask on when he goes to get gas and goes to get groceries?
Who gave him a license? Like what?
I don't think he has a license. His ID has like his mask on.
Yeah. So when he gets pulled over, he just kills the cops and goes.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what.
Yeah,
leaving a trail of dead cops in his way.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, who knows? Who knows
These
what
are
happened?
the important questions that I need answers to.
Yeah.
How does he fill up his gas tank?
And does he have the mask on?
Yeah,
when he fills up.
When he does.
You know, does he go into the gas station and get like a Gatorade?
Yeah.
I mean, what's really funny?
And where does he have the money for?
Yeah, how does he get money? What's really funny is nowadays, it wouldn't be weird, or it's actually expected for you to go into places with masks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Like, hey, I'm going to go in, I'm not going to rob you.
Yeah.
This is what I have to wear.
I promise. Pinky promise. No, some banks have actual signs up on the windows saying that you cannot enter without a mask.
Yeah.
Banks.
I know. It's like, what kind of world are we living in? It's so backwards right now. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I've thought about wearing my Michael mask around. I don't know if that would be...
You get shot. He's back.
I don't know if that would, be considered okay. Because I'm wearing a mask. Like, is that okay?
Technically, it's a mask. They didn't specify. We need to see your eyes.
Well, Michael doesn't have eyes.
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I had a pretty good amount of negatives. This one really fell off for me after watching the other ones. And I'm such a Halloween fanatic that this one just didn't do it for me, and it just doesn't do it for me anymore. Mm-hmm. I would rather watch all the other ones that we've done so far.
All of them?
Before I'd watch this.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Because when I think of, okay, I want to watch a Halloween movie, this is not what I'm going to want to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not going to want to watch this one because it's not a Halloween movie.
Mm-hmm. It's good as like a standalone Halloween movie. You don't have to watch the other ones to know what's going on with this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're just to pop in like Halloween 5 or Halloween 6, you get kind of lost.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know.
Yeah.
Myself, I'll put it in Halloween 5 and laugh and have fun with it. And if you're just your everyday, whatever, casual fan, you can put in H20 and have fun with it.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not going to put in H20 because it doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, all right. So let's do some grades.
So yeah, I did have fun with this movie. I have fun with it every time I watch it. But yeah, there are definitely the '90s just had the late '90s just had its own feel for horror in general. Definitely. And this was definitely no exception to that. This definitely felt like it was a mid to late '90s movie.
Yep. And that was going to be another negative for me, but I think that kind of just goes with it not feeling like a Halloween movie.
Yeah. So I definitely get that aspect of it, not feeling like the other Halloween movies.
Yeah.
At the same time, I did have more fun with this one than I have with some of the other ones. Not all of them, but some of them for sure. So for me, I'm probably going to give this one a 76.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Man, your grades are just throwing me off. All right. Man, I feel like I should give such a lower grade than I was thinking of.
Oh, really?
Because I had so many more negatives than you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going with a 70.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a C, just average,
I was either going with an 82 or a 76. I'm just like, nothing in between.
Okay.
Those were the two numbers I was going through in my mind.
All right. Yeah, so I'm going 70. I think it's okay. Mm-hmm. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Which is surprising to me. Like, if you would have told me that we were going to do this 5 years ago, Halloween H20 would have probably been at
top of the list.
Top of the list.
Yeah.
Along with maybe Rob Zombie's Halloweens.
That's going to be...
and those are going to be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, that's going to be very divisive.
Yeah, so we're going to,
Can't wait for...
My thoughts on Halloween films has changed since watching the originals. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Nothing else to talk about for this one.
All right. Well, this has been the... what is this called? Is it called Halloween H20?
Yeah.
20 years later?
Yeah, it's Halloween colon H2O, and I think like it. I think
Colon.
it actually says it's not another colon, but it's like underneath that, like in smaller print, it would say 20 years later, something like that.
I think it's called Halloween, colon, H2O, semicolon, 20 years later, exclamation point. Okay, so this has been the review for that. And this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let LL Cool J bite.